you want some Parmesan cheese?
Hey guys, good to have you here. This is Esty Media. Thank you for logging on to my YouTube channel. So let's do a quick review on the last episode on Lore of the Heart. So when we think we've seen a great friendship between Julia and Pablo in previous episode, I think it is really becoming more interesting, intense and passionate. This is friendship, like real friendship indeed. It started with them having dinner and talk about how he got the band, her band, yes, how he got her band on the wedding day and his wishes. And I think to him now they are actually manifesting in one way or the other. They had conversations around so many things, talked about other things, and they also talked about Obeto's death and what they think would have made him kill himself. So Catalina, the next thing was Catalina having a great time with her supposed person she saw in bad. Like, I'm really so angry for her. I used to like her so much, but I think at this point I'm really so like, what's wrong with this babe? Even after Elias had advised you on the fact that when you want to be serious with a guy, make sure you do not get down with him on the first day. She didn't even hear that. She didn't even hear that. She still went ahead with this stranger of a guy to her own apartment, and she is feeling all lovey-dovey with him. Okay, we're looking out for what would happen to her in the next scene. All right, the next one is Julia calls her mom. She explains to she let her know there was an incident or an accident, and for that reason she may not be able to come home. Because trust Maria, she definitely thought it was a lie, but Julia had to let her know that was the truth, and there was no reason why she could lie or give excuse for not coming home or wanting to stay back in Pablo's house. Anyway, Maria is Maria and we know her. So Alfredo decides to check on Catalina, like to pick her, because they already had a plan for the previous day that he would pick her up 7:30 in the morning because they have a hearing. So he's in her apartment trying to reach her. Then Julia and Pablo were shown again. They're talking about so many things. They're talking about so many things. They were even wearing pajamas, like so many beautiful things like on them. It was majorly centered on them. So eventually they kissed passionately. And she reminds him of Camilo's hearing for the day. And then, like he said, he's been trying to avoid all of that, and they should try to avoid it. So the guy he doesn't even want to hear anything. That's when he's coming to pick her bestie eventually. So Alfredo is in Catalina's house and tries to reach her, like, oh, guess what? The guy, this strange guy, turned out to be a man of immoral values. Like, he tied her, like when they were having fun, he tied her hands and she was enjoying it. But now it eventually turned out that he was a man of questionable character. He left her in that situation, robbed her, and made his way with her things and locked her in. So Alfredo, so she's been crying and shouting for her. By great providence, and Pablo gets to hear at the reception and rushes up to her apartment. So one way or the other, he eventually gets to open the door and find Catalina. Babe, what happened? She explained to him what happened and how everything happened. And well, it's not a beautiful scene or situation, but it is the reality. So Pablo and Alfredo try, even while he tries to question her why she did so, try as much as possible to be very, very mild with her. So Alfredo pacified her, like questioned her, talked with her, calmed her down while she cries. She's angry with herself for fooling around with someone she really did not or has never known. So Roberto and a friend, they're discussing about Julia, that he called her home in the morning. He called her home in the morning, but the maid says she wasn't home, was in Pablo's place. And then the guy is thinking way ahead that there must be something ongoing between Julia and Pablo. But Roberto tried as much to inform him not to be too forward, and that whatever happens or whenever Camilo gets to ask them any question about that, they should try to evade it as much as possible. Then he had actually called initially to talk with Julia, and the maid told him that Julia wasn't home, she was in Pablo's place. So they talked about, the two friends, they talked about that scene and what could possibly be happening between them. But Roberto's decide not to believe that anything major is happening with them. So Kata is distressed. Alfredo reached out to Maria, called her, then Alfredo also tried to calm her down, and then gets back to the office. Then Julia is back home. She tells her mama about Roberto Obeto. Those two names are actually kind of very similar. So he tells her about Obeto, the incidents that happened, the incident had happened, and how he eventually killed himself. Sure, they were there, she and Pablo were there, but she tried as much as possible to put up a very good confident look all along, not to get Pablo also down at the very moment, because of the great relationship between the both of them. So she's getting ready. Alfredo gets to the office as well, and she tells Maria the pallor of the situation. Like, you know, Maria, our great tiger, our great iron and boss lady, like, she's not really happy with the situation. She feels she opened or made up the opportunity to happen because she advised Kata that they should go for a party, but she never knew that it would eventually turn out or end up to be that situation. She called Catalina, who wasn't happy. Like, she feels really or felt really guilty. But trust Maria, like that girl, like the lady, I like the way she really handles the situation. Tells her not to feel too guilty, that she trusted the rose guy. She trusted the rose guy, but it's not anything to be worried over. Like, she really spoke with her like a big sister, and that made her happy or gave her some confidence or happy mood. And the interesting part is Alfredo has vowed or is vowing to make sure that it gets to look for the guy and make him pay for his crime. So they're going, him and Maria, they're going to get to the hotel, the restaurant, and look for him. They must track him down to make sure he pay for his crime. So Gabriel, at the same time, Gabriel calls the office. Like, this is one that hasn't even called her in a very long time, that made her think that, oh, if her life was like this, like, you know, she liked Catalina. Gabriel calls the office, and even Carmel feels that, okay, when Catalina gets to hear that Gabriel calls, she would be happy. Maria at the same time also gets into the office, and she informs Carmel and Nick of the situation, Pablo, and that she needs Nick to get and meet Pablo because of her distraught or how he feels. So Carmel, Nick also gets to tell Alfredo of the situation, and they plan to check on him. Then Marcos is in the office to see Alfredo's and let him know of the findings, like how far he had gone with the case he's been assigned to. And we trust Marcos. Yes, he came with some great evidence or information with Alfredo, and they concluded or believed that, okay, he needs to get more lead, because it will definitely, it's not going to be an easy case, but with such much evidence they would be able to set Raul free and get hold of the woman who made him commit the murder. So the next thing is Isabel and Milani's hearing. So and a very striking point for me at this place is when Isabel gets into the court. She's come to support Elias and let him. She's just come to support Elias, and eventually, for evasion of privacy and other things, Milani has been sentenced to 48 months in prison, and she was being led away by the law attendant. She played with Elias to help her out. So let's see if she gets some time less out of the prison's hearing. Now, Rosa had a client the last time, and today was the hearing. Mrs. Yolanda, like 4. Why am I even laughing? Like, since I started watching this film, well, maybe not in this part of the world, maybe not in my part of the world, But in places in the Western, more developed nations, people divorce for so many reasons. Some reasons you feel like are so trivial, you think they can easily settle the divorce a lot for that issue. So she wants to divorce her husband as a result of lateness in financial, in settling family obligations. So but the evidences for the case, the man is not ready to let his wife go, and the defender has a lot of information to guide against that. So let's see how this case will go for Rosa, and let's know if she eventually wins the case. But because she's been hampering on the fact that she's not been recognized, or they've not given her what she deserves in the law firm. So at this point, let's see if she wins this case or how it eventually turns out, because I know they would also discuss it in their management meeting. So these are some of the things that played out in the last episode on Law of the Heart. So are you seeing this series? So what are your major highlights, and what do you foresee or envisage in next episodes to come? You could let me know some of those things in the comment section. Again, I'm your girl Eside Media, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, can you subscribe here? And yes, can you subscribe here? Once I come your way again, I remain Eside Media. Thank you for being a part of us. Bye.